In a way, I think that Palladio is an architect's architect. I mean, someone's very accessible, and there remains a very elemental quality to his work. I mean, you can see what it's about immediately. It's not hidden in layers of other things. You know, it's quite architectonic. It's quite pure. There's something about the sort of freestanding small villa which is not pompous and actually has a certain economic quality to it, especially when you start to see, went to a couple where they're slightly run down and, they become somehow even more human and they become even more somehow approachable. The English country house here is about impressing you and it's about, whereas there it's really, impressive in another way. It's very reduced. I mean, they're very simple buildings and their simplicity still reads. Possibly even more because they're, some of them are struggling. I got the Palladio Prize a number of years ago and that was a wonderful event, exhibited in the Basilica and presented in the Teatro Olimpico, which was an extraordinary experience to be, a sort of intimacy with Palladio, which was it still has this wonderful humanity about it. And again, you go into auditoriums, I've received some other prizes and you're sitting in some plush seat in some great, complex hall. And then you sit in these wooden benches in this little amphitheater and then you think, well, why does a hall have to ever be more complicated than this? There is an archaic quality about Palladio. There's a sort of straightforward quality, and I suppose I still have great confidence in typology. I have a great confidence in simple architectonic elements. I think windows are somehow important. I think columns are an expression of, I think the language of I don't think that one should imitate, but I don't think we can deny the simplicity and the directness and the humanity that is contained within such a straightforward architecture. In my opinion, there are certain architects that have nothing to do, their appeal has nothing to do with that historical curiosity. Whether that's Palladio, Soane, Hawksmoor, Schinkel. You can get over that veneer quickly of historical distance and go immediately into understanding why this building is so powerful. That's when history can touch you more. It's when you can somehow, History is interesting not because of its exoticism, but because of its familiarity. We've given up many of the responsibilities that we were looking for in the 70s and was part of the critique of modern movement. I think we've now gone back to a sort of heroic modern movement where the architect invents spectacular architecture, which is, again, slightly autonomous and slightly self-referential. I think that was coincident with a moment of excessive wealth and the availability of money that wasn't necessarily just about building buildings, but about promotion. And I think that as that climate changes, I think we will have to refer again more seriously to what are we doing and what does it mean. And I think what was important about Palladio was how he was tied into a society. I mean, that's what that was his success. I mean, he had absolute social relevance. I mean, he wasn't successful just because he was talented. He was successful because his talents and his interests were tailored towards, shared concerns. So he wasn't just making icons.